prep, no solid plan. Spins a yarn, recants a tale. The esoteric approach won't fail. Tune in, it's time for Common Man. Common Man, charms the housewives like no one can. What'd you shoot? Where'd we play? Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
Oh boy! Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
I mean, it's like, hello.
You find this funny, Mr. Grow? You're smiling. You find this humorous? No, they're not. You find this humorous, Mr. Grow? You're laughing and smiling. I'm just wondering if you do. You didn't answer my question, Mr. Grow. Do you find this humorous?
No, I find it keeping the 4 years.
At least you're not smiling and laughing now. Oh, I guess you're back at it again
now.
Is wearing women's underwear part of your turn-on?
Yeah, baby.
You know, sometimes when you practice, you'll set up chairs. You know, and you run through chairs just to show zones and stuff. The Viking defense looks like it's chairs. All the defensive backs covering are just atrocious today for the Minnesota Vikings.
Mark, they can't pitch. They can't hit. What is with? I mean, come on.
I'm a fraud.
Yes.
Rosa, you don't know nothing.
Once you get over that Anoka County line and head north, your troubles are behind.
Later.
Boy, how disappointing is that?
We're the state of hockey, and I think that proves it, so.
Yes!
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, hold on.
He's the clown from Brown. He's the fourth in the north. This is the common man, Dan Cole.
A little soundbite from Chad reminded me of there's something about the Jimmy. Do you know that one, tend to be? There's something about the Jimmy Johnson news conference.
I've heard you do the bit. I don't know if I've ever really heard the backstory on it.
So, well, you know, back in the day in Chad and Barrero, we've played the jingle just recently.
The Fan.
On the Fan. KFAN. And we called it the Savvy Afternoon Gabathon. And one of the DJs from one of the local stations here did a liner for Chad and Barrero, and they mispronounced savvy and said Save. The Save Afternoon Gabathon. But anyway, so, you know, back in the day, the running joke was the Chad or Barrero show. Because Big Ticket he was a columnist. I'd start writing my column earlier.
Yeah.
Right. So he was traveling a lot. If there was, he was on call. If there was a big Wolves game, he might be going travel with the Wolves for a big game. Vikings, you know, whatever, you know, just so he might be gone. And then Hartman was gone because he was at one time, he was the radio voice of the Minnesota Timberwolves. So Barrero was gone and Hartman were both not even around. But so Hartman's doing the show solo, but he's on the road. Or maybe this was one of those when Barrero was starting at 4. Because twice a week were writing days and he started at 4. Couldn't start his column earlier. Started at 4. Okay. My round of golf, I'd like to take it till 1 o'clock. Get the sports babe to fill in. That's why when I play golf with, like, if I play with the Rubes that bid on me in a charity auction, we're teeing off like 6:30, I go, we have to be done by 10:30. Because I can't go rolling it late and say, oh, golf took a little longer than I thought. And, Abbott would look at you and say, well, you don't start till noon and your day's 3 hours long. I think maybe you need to make sure your round of golf is completed. But anyway, so Jimmy Johnson's having a news conference for some reason. I don't know what it is. I'm assuming he's coach of the Cowboys at the time, or I don't know. So we're carrying it for some reason. Why, I don't know. And Hartman's in a hotel room, like who knows where. He doesn't know what city he's in.
Yeah.
And so he's listening. And so down, in Q, he says, all right, let's get out of it after this last question. So Jimmy answers the last question, and then Hartman starts to come on. That was Jim. And then we weren't quick enough on the switch. So the news conference continued, and all you could hear was the slamming down of the phone.
I always
in the
love
hotel room, and then a dial tone. Chad was upset. And then,
were you the one responsible, by the way, of getting out of it? Okay,
I was not. I was just bored off. It was somebody else running the phone. I don't know if it was. Well, I don't even know how many producers that show had. I worked with so many different people. I told you that story. As soon as they'd walk in the door, I'd give you 6 months. I go, huh? I go, well, in 6 months, you're going to want to quit. You're just not going to, you won't enjoy this job at all. But anyway, and then my favorite one is, I know I've told these stories, but they're just so funny. So, like, let's say you're the Chad Burrow Show, and the producer's to my right, and I'm talking like this, like a ventriloquist. And the guy goes, why are you talking like that? I go, because if they see us talking together, they're going to be really mad, because we're not paying attention to the show. So if we got to talk, we just got to talk like this. So anyway, I don't know, a couple years later, and we're talking about something, and I don't even know how we started thinking about things that had happened, and Chad goes, there's something about that Jimmy Johnson news conference. I can't remember what that was.
I always love that one.
Oh, I remember. I remember it very well. Bam, just slammed on the phone, but it was so good. You mow your own lawn, Tina?
Yes.
I do too, and
sometimes my toes.
Yeah, that's right. You did. That's right. You almost cut your toe off. You have bloody tennis shoes. Did you ever try to sell the bloody tennis shoes on what did people sell the stuff on?
Facebook Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace. Reason I ask is it's going to be a shameless plug for two of my endorsements. I have Willow River Outdoor Services, right? They do a lot of my. I don't have them mow. You can have them mow if you want to. I like mowing the lawn. I've always enjoyed mowing the lawn. It's one of those things where it gives me time to think, and it's therapy for me. I like it. Well, I bought this new mower like about 8 weeks ago from another one of my line of equipment, 3 locations. They're in Shakopee, Anoka, and in Loretto. And the old mower head was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. But it was getting a little long in the tooth, and it was time for me to get a new one. My last lawnmower had a 20-inch cutting width, right? Well, this new one it's a Toro that I have, Tennessee. It's a 30-inch cutting width, dual force twin blade system.
Ooh.
It's a, hold on, guaranteed to start. And the other part is personal pace auto drive. Because it's a walk behind, but it's you pull it and it propels us if you walk behind it. Personal pace. They told me at Lana when I got it, you might have to run behind it if you put it on full force. It used to take me about 40 minutes to do I got just a small little patch of grass if you're looking at my property, on the left side of the driveway, then a very small front yard, then a little patch of grass on the right side of the house, and then the backyard. All together to do all those 4 little areas, probably about 40 minutes. With this personal pace thing, it was like running a 100-yard dash. I had that thing as fast as it could go. I had to run behind it. I was panting when I was. It took me 27 minutes to mow my lawn today. 27. That's 13. I cut off 13 minutes off of mowing.
And time is money, so you actually made money.
That's what I was thinking, because that's what I always, mowing the lawn on a hot summer, you go, I like mowing, but it's like, I have 40 minutes, 27 minutes to mow. And I'm wondering, how fast could they make? I mean, I had it on crush. I mean, as fast as it could go. And I had to, I'm only 5'7". I got short little legs. So you might, I don't know if it would be fast enough for you. In other words, I said it should be fast enough, but I don't know if you'd be I was actually running behind the lawnmower today. And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if any of the neighbors are watching me going, what is he doing?
Why are you running?
Why is he running behind his lawnmower? But I wanted to see how fast I could mow the lawn, and that was 20.
You're like one of those speed golfers.
Yeah, it was like speed golf.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. It was 27 minutes, and I wonder, I'm sure they could make it go even faster. And what if
Did you take off the governor on it,
or
what?
I didn't. But then what if, I don't think can you get any bigger than a 30-inch cutting width? Because you got to crank it when you turn it. It's 20 compared to 30, there's a little bit more oomph when you want to turn, when you want to corner with it. I'm just wondering if I could get it down, if I could get a mower that had like about a 40, 45-inch width, and that would double that speed, I could probably do my lawn in about 4 minutes. Just get in, get out, be done, And then I would highly recommend, if you're one of those enterprising young 13, 14, 15-year-olds, get that lawnmower, then go door to door and say, would you like us to mow your lawn? If you could do a lawn in like 4 minutes, think of how much money you could make over a summer. I mean, you could probably do an entire subdivision in a day. You could be rich. Or at least fairly well-to-do. So, but yeah, it's the greatest lawnmower I've ever owned. I got it and it's a Toro, and Toro Days continues to the end of the month. So, I would go right now. First of all, I was going to say I would go online, and then I say I'd speed up the process. I'd call. I just go there and get one because it's really cool. It's a great thing. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. There is there's a couple of things that are stuck in my craw. We'll take a peek at the purple next on the other side of the break. But right now, Tennessee has a keyword for you. It's our national cash contest brought to you locally by BigDeck.com. Get your deck on. What do you got?
Yeah, the fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword credit at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. That keyword is credit. Enter it now at KFAN.com.
The Common Man.
Is there anybody...
The radio home of Minnesota sports is also on YouTube. Check out the KFAN YouTube channel for exclusive videos, in-depth takes, initials, and password games, and behind-the-scenes content. Search KFAN on YouTube and hit subscribe today.
So funny. That meat sauce. He's crazy. Lucky. Pretty wacky. A peek at the purple brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. If you are getting ready to sell your home, do not let electrical issues slow down your closing. If you got outdated panels, maybe some faulty outlets, or maybe an inspection repair, all of those things can delay your sale. Affordable Electric provides pre-listing electrical evaluations and fast code-compliant repairs to help your home pass inspection. I can say that with confidence. 612-331-VOLT. 612-331-VOLT, or if you prefer online at affordable-electric.com. Affordable-electric.com. They are shockingly affordable. List Radio is lazy radio, and we've got the. I don't know if we have the market cornered on that, but we certainly are a Fortune 500 company in that. If we were a company, we'd be Fortune 500 because we like that stuff. And I saw Tennessee where on one of the list radio things I stumbled across was, hold on, it's here. Oh, here it is. It's a CBS Sports. They're the best at list radio. 50 days until the 2026 NFL season. 50 under the radar players who could shape it. And anytime I look at this, I look for NFC North players, and I always look for Vikings, of course. And I wonder, are there any players on our team that are under the radar? Will we be on this list at all? And lo and behold, Tennessee, we are. The first category is under-recognized players ready to make a star leap. And there are no Vikings on that list. Now, that doesn't mean we're not included on this. There's bounce-back candidates. There are no Vikings on that list. Second-year jump players. And there are no Vikings on the list. However, known face.
You've got to be kidding me.
Known face, new place. On the top of that list, ranked at number 22 of the 50. Who do you think that would be for the Vikings? It's a Minnesota Vikings under the category known face, but a new place.
Kyler Murray.
No.
Jawan Jennings.
That's correct. Jennings makes this list for the second straight year, which that can be a little, if you've been there before and now you've left and you're saying, you see what I'm saying? Maybe in the last place he wasn't what he was supposed to be. But anyway, Jennings makes this list for the second straight year. Justin Jefferson is a superstar. Addison shows big play potential, but Jennings is coming in to be the guy who makes the tough catches, moves the sticks, and provides physicality. Over the past 2 seasons, Jennings has 37 third down catches that produce first downs. That's 7th most in the National Football League. It's a pretty gaudy number.
Yeah.
And Tennessee, we really like doing it in pro football, moving the chains, right? So that's a player who could make a big impact. And I know you liked the acquisition, I believe, when it was first announced.
Yes.
I thought you and the more I discover about Jennings, the more I'm encouraged by it as well. I think it could be a really good move because the Vikings, they've always had okay. Would you agree with this? Last, I don't know, 5. When was the last time they had a great third where you just go, this guy's really good? As a third receiver. We've had that guy says, well, he's okay.
You have to go back to Jake Reed with 3D.
That's what I was thinking. You have to almost go back that far. We've had some guys that have had moments. KJ Osborne had moments. This guy had a moment, game or two, play or two, where you were encouraged, but no staying power, no week in, week out. And maybe Jennings could be the guy. And I think it'd be important for him. Because again, if most teams, I think they do this kind of say, well, we're not going to let Jefferson beat us. And that's why I think Addison's had an opportunity to be a pretty good receiver. That's the one thing about it. If you have a star receiver and they take him out of the game, well, then other guys can benefit, of course. So maybe that will do it. He's not the only person that appears on this list, Tennessee, from the Minnesota Vikings. At number 8, new place, known face, James Pierre, cornerback. Oh my gosh. It says Pierre allowed an absurd 4.3 yards per attempt as the primary defender last year, second among all players with at least 30 attempts, behind only his fellow Steelers corner Joey Porter Jr., who's also on this list. Pierre's 27.3% pass breakup rate also ranked first in the NFL by a wide margin. All of this came from a 29-year-old who started the year on the practice squad and had never been a major part of the defense. Minnesota did relatively little in free agency, but is counting on Pierre to play well again. I didn't know he had posted those kinds of numbers. That could be a real... And, it seems like not every defender, but many flourish in B-flow system. James Pierre, your thoughts?
I'm not going to act like I know a bunch about him. This is becoming one of those hashtag faith and B-flow.
Right, yeah.
Because even though he hasn't been here a long time, he's had a pretty proven track record of, taken some defensive backs who were past their prime, and you got them in the scrap heap in June and July, and they were functional for you. When they got Isaiah Rodgers last year on the first day of free agency, I don't think anyone thought, that's going to be our starter. You just kind of thought he was going to be a depth piece, and then he turned out to have a pretty good season.
Right.
So I do think and he's had success without having big stars on his defense. So the system is the star here. So until Pierre lets me down, I'm just going to assume, Beefalo knows what he's doing.
And then 44 on that list is Jalen Redmond. Last year, the Vikings brought in bigger names, Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave, only for Redmond, a former undrafted free agent who spent time in the XFL to outplay both of them by a wide margin. Racked up 6 sacks, finished 11th in Pro Football Focus's run defense grades among interior defensive linemen. His disruptive abilities against both the run and the pass are impressive. So again, can he continue to build on that? I know that I talked to a couple of people, and I'm the same way. You kind of have doubts from XFL guy. Undrafted. We've had a lot of great undrafted free agents, including Thielen and John Randall. John Randall, a Hall of Famer. Adam Thielen, probably not a Hall of Famer, but he was a terrific player for the Vikings for many years. So it does happen, but a lot of times undrafted free agents, it's just not that big of a deal, And there's when they do get a chance to perform, you can see why they're undrafted. But so, it's nice to be mentioned in the 50. It's better than not having anybody in there. But we'll just have to wait and see how things play out. Camp starts. Is it AUG 1 or AUG 2 or?
I think
3 is that the first practice day, August 3rd? That's a Monday, right? Because I think I'm out the first day of training camp.
What?
Yeah. It's for Hope Kids. I'm for kids with life-threatening injuries. I'm trying to help them. So Don Barry and I have been doing a tournament for years called the Coalberry, and that's always the first
The
Monday
training camp begins August 1st.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if they have days before that where they're reporting and that kind of stuff.
But anywho, you're going to be. I don't know if you're going to be there the very first day, but
you're out on Monday, August 3rd.
Yes.
You did not tell me that. You gave me a list of dates. You did not give me August 3rd.
Oh, sorry about that. You don't have to bite my head off.
Well, I was so proud of you that you'd given me all the other dates like weeks in advance.
I sort of forgot about the tournament momentarily. It's in my calendar. It's per usual. It's customary. Just always put it in your calendar first Monday in August. Every year. 10 years now. No, more than 10. I think this is the bit aside. I think it's like the 13th, 14th annual Coalberry tournament. So I think if you're going to be there the first day, it's going to be you holding down the fort. You can get charged to come out and talk. No, she's not in town anymore.
I had him on the 10 Fitzgerald the other day.
I was told a lot of fantasy football talk.
Yeah.
Charts like it there. Did you talk about that at all? Does he seem to like this?
I mean, we didn't talk about it on the air. I think he likes it there.
Okay.
He moved his entire life over there, so
yeah.
Hope he likes it.
Well, sometimes that's why when you think of retirement, my wife and I have often discussed. Well, do we want to split? I mean, this is still home, I guess. I hate winters, but I like to get away in the winter. And then, what if you decide, well, let's buy a second place in Phoenix, and then you get down to Phoenix, and after about 2 years, you go, I hate Phoenix. Then you're stuck. So maybe he's in Utah.
I think he likes it there, but misses the people.
Oh, okay. Well, let's hopefully it'll still work out for him. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Peek at the Purple brought to you by Affordable Electric. For all of your electrical needs, affordable-electric.com. They're shockingly affordable.
The Common Man.
This says a lot about
one epic band, My Chemical Romance.
I don't even know where to start. Mike, is that the name of a band? My Chemical Romance.
They're at Target Field, August 24th.
Let's do. Oh, listen to the music. Whoa, listen to the music.
Yeah, My Chemical Romance at Target Field, August 24th. Grab your tickets before they're gone. Get all the details. today at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
That sounds like a band that's named after someone who is really enjoys consuming a whole multicolored galaxy of uppers and downers and screamers and laughter, right? You have a chemical romance.
While getting romantic.
Yeah. Or do you just say your romance is with the chemical?
Oh, okay.
My chemical romance. My chemical. So it's not my girlfriend or my boyfriend romance. It's my chemical romance. I'm in love with uppers and downers. And there was a time I was in love with uppers and downers and screamers. And I have a whole galaxy of them. Before I get to the next topic, a couple of text messages have come into the Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line, and they always raise some interesting issues. First one says, List radio is cutting edge, controversial, purely argumentative radio. I only know one show in any major market that dares to swim in those waters regularly. The Grum is above Marconi Awards and idolization and pedestalization recognition. Love the great work, and I appreciate that. But the only thing I would take, and maybe this is arguing. He would think this. I never considered arguing. To me, it's a debate. I've told you, Teneby, I went to school at Forest Lake. I was enrolled at Forest Lake. I wished I wouldn't have had a romance with uppers and downers and screamers and laughers. Because if I could go back and do it over again, I would want to be in debate class. My wife, she did speech and debate. She has all sorts of trophies and ribbons and awards. She was very good at. That's why she always wins the debates we have. The disagreements that we have, she usually wins them. Usually. Do you ever get in a debate where you just decide it's just better to just say, okay, you're right?
I think most men, most husbands have been in that spot.
Yeah, you just kind of just move on. It's hard for me to do sometimes, especially when you feel like I'm right. I know exactly what I'm talking about. But so I don't even consider it an argument. I just like debating, and I can take either side of the issue. Speaking of Chad, we did that back when he was here. We were doing Vikings pregame. We did point counterpoint. Comment. Do you think it should be Gannon or Salisbury? I said, you just pick. I'll take either guy. I don't care enough. I can make an argument for either player. I really can. I can make an argument for why it should be McCarthy or why it should be hard to make that one, but I could make an argument why it should be McCarthy rather than Kyler Murray and vice versa. Here's another one that says, no talk on KOC golfing with Scheffler today.
What's there to talk about?
Well, that's nothing to talk about. They're at the Pro-Am. KOC got invited. I don't know. Probably paid. I don't know if he paid money or the Vikings paid. That's usually how those Pro-Ams work.
Vikings are a sponsor, maybe?
Yeah, or usually well-to-do people, well-heeled people work for a corporation or something. Let's say you're with Bank of America. You're vice president of Bank of America. You will give the 3M Open $5,000, $10,000. It goes to charity. It doesn't go to the 3M or the 3M Open. It goes to a charity. And then you get to play with one of the PGA Tour pros. 9 holes with one guy, 9 holes with another. The Tour pros changed that. They dread those things. They really do.
Gosh,
they'll pretend they always put their best foot forward and they put their best face on. But that's the last thing. They're thinking about playing golf and winning the tournament. So they'll just do 9, then somebody else is a tag team. And, it's like a relay. Then somebody else comes in and does the other 9. So I don't know. I'm sure they played together and it was great. So I don't know what else. I don't really know what to say is they did play together.
I saw a video of one of KOC's birdies.
Oh, he made a birdie.
Yeah.
Good for him. Then there was this one. And again, this is a topic that we've talked about before, but I should maybe explain it again. It says, you can't say you're a Lions fan when you're talking about the Vikings. You can be a fan of more than one team. That old-fashioned, it's one team, thick or thin. I can only like the team in the city I live in or the city I was born in. To me, that's so antiquated. And that's how most people approach sports, I think. Tend to be, you're a Wild fan, right? A Wolves fan, a Vikings fan, or a Twins fan. But you also like the Kansas City Chiefs.
And Detroit. I like the Lions.
Yeah. I like tacos. Don't you think that's some information I'd like to know? You can be a fan of more than one team. Some people cannot.
Just like Anthony Edwards is one of my players I'm a fan of. I'm also a fan of Steph Curry.
Yeah. And I know for some people it's hard to wrap their head around that. And I get it. And it's probably, it's not, It's not, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not the way most people approach fandom, but it's like, I like the Vikings. I grew up here. And I like the Kitties. Don't like the Vikings. There's not a lot of other football teams. Like, for instance, because Matt Stafford played for Detroit and gave it everything he had when he went to the Rams, I was a Rams fan. Now, the Rams are playing the Vikings. I'm pulling for the Vikings. If the Rams are playing Detroit, if it's Vikings and Lions, get back to me. That's more times than not, I'll say it. It's the Lions. Now, if the Lions are a terrible team in a terrible city and it's better for the Vikings to win, I'd rather they win. I like historically good and biblically bad. When the Lions went 0-16, when they were 0-10, I started rooting against them because I wanted that biblically bad record. So,
well, then another question.
Yes.
For allegiances for college sports now that we have a second team in this town that is Division I, can I still cheer for St. Thomas and the University of Minnesota, or do I have to pick one?
Yeah. No, you don't.
Can I cheer for both? Can I be a fan of both?
Like, for instance, let's say UMD goes to because they've won national championships.
Yes, of course.
And so has Mankato the hockey won a national championship?
Don't think Mankato has.
But UMD has, right?
Yes, they've done a couple times.
Well, so if UMD's there,
they won it here.
Is it wrong to root for UMD because they're in the same tournament the Gophers would be in, and if the Gophers don't make it, I'm supposed to root against them? I'd rather root for them. They're sort of one of us. Anyway, one of our favorite, at least mine, is the Odell Beckham, and he didn't win the Preposterous Statement tournament, did he?
He did not.
Odell Beckham Jr. did he was on some podcast, and he goes, I tell people all the time, $100 million would be like $50 million after taxes. To be honest with you, buy my mom a house, I'm going to buy a car, I'm going to spend, invest, save, use, flaunt. At the end of the day, it's $6 million a year. Can you make that last? I saw a clip, and I don't know how long ago it was. Somebody sent it to me. I don't know if it was real recent, last year, 2 years ago, with Chuck Barkley doing kind of the same thing, but Chuck Barkley doing the other end of it, going, well, you don't have to buy a $300,000 car. Buy a $70,000 car and take the other $230,000, invest it, save it. Brilliant. Right? It's not that hard. Kyle, is it Kuzma?
Yeah, Kuzma.
Kuzma is how you say it. From Essentially Sports, it says, quote, nobody told you to live like a king. Kyle Kuzma calls out NBA stars for wasting millions on cars and a lavish life. Says, Kyle's never been one to sugarcoat his opinions, and his latest take is no different. The Bucks forward ignited a firestorm online after calling out NBA players who burned through millions, then turned around and complained about being broke. In a blunt social media post, Kuzma went straight to the point. It's exhausting hearing athletes break down how their millions aren't really millions after taxes and fees. $40 million after taxes is still $40 million. The real issue isn't the system. It's lifestyle creep. Nobody told you to live like a king, buy 5 cars, or move with a 10-person entourage. Modest is allowed. You don't have to flaunt.
Correct.
You effectively put a spotlight on the rampant wasting of millions on luxury cars and lavish living. The post quickly resonated with fans who are weary of hearing wealthy athletes complain about taxes and agent fees. One fan responded, seriously, like the rest of the population isn't taxed or has expenses. LOL.
That's always my favorite when they bring up the fact that they're taxed.
Yeah.
We all are.
We all are taxed. Then it says, then Kyle quickly doubled down on his stance. He said, and they say it like they're going to get empathy from regular folks that are using credit rewards points for groceries right now. It's wild. Although he doesn't drop names, it comes after C.J. McCollum's recent comments on the Enterprise Zone. When asked about how he spent his first $1 million, the Hawk star said, my checks were small, man. Small in scale to like what the rookies make now. Let's say I was making $2 million after taxes. Let's call it $950, $970. Agency fees, 4%, marketing, 15%. Those checks were chopped down. I was living off of like an energy drink deal. I had a $12,000 deal to just like get some post off, and I lived off that. Wow.
I always love that one.
Guy's got it tough. After breaking down the expenses of his 4-bedroom rental and a Mercedes for his mother, he said, I had a fear and paranoia that I was going to go broke. McCollum, however, didn't strike a chord with fans. Most felt it was tone deaf to complain when most people are nowhere near what he's earning. In response to the backlash, CJ responded on X, obviously millions of dollars is enough, but back in the day before nil, we didn't get paid until November. And I didn't get paid at Lehigh.
You've got to be kidding me.
I left school in April for pre-draft, so I lived off $12,000 energy drink deal until November, which was cool with me. 2 bands a month. The point is that people with money need to budget, and people without it need to budget too. Shaq learned it the hard way when FICA took a big chunk of his Lakers salary. He's since balanced luxury, charity, and financial savvy, and even launched programs that teach financial literacy to student athletes. Antetokounmpo is touted as one of the most financially savvy athletes right now, and it comes right after he boldly highlighted the short-term nature of the NBA job. Kyle's a prime example of financial stability and deliberate wealth management. The 30-year-old is currently playing under a 4-year, $102 million contract, $90 million of which is fully guaranteed. That he originally signed with the Wizards. Instead of burning through his capital on depreciating assets like exotic sports cars, he prioritized corporate investments and brand equity, a mindset he credits to learning from the veteran role models during his championship run with the Lakers. He's a prominent angel investor who's built a carefully curated portfolio that includes men's skincare brand Margin, as well as other lifestyle and tech businesses. He does have his splurges, especially on cars, watches, and grooming, but he's not complaining about debt. By advocating for fiscal responsibility, Kyle continues to challenge the league's traditional big spending stereotypes. Here, for Kyle, but he still does like his cars. Don't we all? But, angel investments. You know what that is, right? If I understand that, in the boxing businesses, do we have an angel? Meaning, do we have somebody that will back us? Mm-hmm. Somebody that will front the money up, that will put the money up, and then we don't have to worry about the money on our end. You're always looking for an angel. And I guess that's what Kyle does. He's an angel. He'll say, I think that's like, what's that show, Shark Tank?
Yes.
Isn't that what Shark Tank's all about? Somebody comes up and goes, I got this product. It's a flea
initials game.
Initials game, where it's a flea remover that the dog operates by himself. Really? Tell me about it. And he tells about it. And he goes, on Shark Tank, I've seen it a couple times. I'll pass. No interest. And other people go, I'll give you $10 million if I can get 50% equity. And they're running. And the beauty of it is for the Shark Tank guys is the money. It's peanuts for them.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And they can drive these deals where they'll get 3/4 of the company. It's like, and if you're desperate enough, I've seen a couple of people go, nope, I'll take my ball and go home. More power to you if you can figure it out. But yeah, if you come up with that idea and you find somebody that goes, I got some money, I'll put some money behind that. Like you say, like the initials game. You do a Kickstarter campaign, looking for 30, you get $3 million. It's a great deal. There were angels everywhere. They're flying all over. Cove was in heaven for all those years. So it is amazing to me that it seems like it's multiplying almost like rats. Or
like every couple of weeks we're hearing a new one.
Yeah, some guy's talking about how tough he's got it where it just doesn't work out that way.
I played the audio from Lou Williams a couple of weeks ago for you. Or Lou Will.
And then there was another audio that somebody sent me, which was another one that I should have forwarded to you with somebody else. Maybe it was the McCollum character. I don't know. But, and that is the thing. They're looking for sympathy from people. And they're what's the word I'm looking for? The world they live in is so different than ours. They don't have any context to it. Is that the word I'm looking for? They don't. It's like Kyle said. He goes, well, there are people living off rewards points off their credit cards, just to get by. The credit card debt is just, it's a mile high because they just don't have the money to make ends meet. And this guy's complaining, well, I had 4 cars. I was worried I was going to go broke. Okay. Here's one that says, Ring camera guy got rejected in the Shark Tank. Now he's a guest shark. So nobody went with ring camera guy, huh?
That turned out well.
Here's another. Spreewell couldn't feed his family. And that was the classic here. Spreewell.
He turned down 3 years, $21 million.
It was Spreewell, the kid, and who was the other guy? Sam Cassell. And they make it to the Western Conference Finals. So we're going to run it back. We're going to keep the band back together. And the Wolves offered him $21 million over 3 years, and he thought he was worth more. And he goes, I got to feed my family. He never signed another contract in the NBA.
And I'm getting zero.
Got zero. And everybody, I guess everybody has a feeling of what they're worth. This is what I should be paid. I think everybody, I think, would you say 100 out of 100 people think they're underpaid? 90 out of 100 anyways, right? They just think I'm underpaid. I think everybody feels that way. And so then it depends upon the profession. Like in pro sports, there are salary caps, so sometimes there's nothing they can do about it. If you already have, that's what happened with.
And frankly, the athletes, as much as they're making, you could still argue they're underpaid in terms of their value, right? Like the ownership still has them.
Right. Here's what it says. They're tone deaf.
Yeah.
Tone deaf. That's the phrase I'm looking for. They're tone deaf. Then someone says, have Tenna look up Jamal Mashburn. He did it right. I don't remember the Jamal. Now here's another one.
If I win the Powerball tonight, by the way, in my press conference, I'm going to be like, yeah, I mean, the jackpot says $600 million, but after taxes, it's $300 million. I got to pay my financial advisor.
Right. Cars. House. This one says, here's one for you. Brandon Ayuk is going viral after roasting Americans for only making $200,000 per month. I'm saying he earns that amount in a single day. Well, he must mean $200,000 per year.
Yeah.
Saying he earns that amount of single day. Well, we're happy for him. I mean, there are people that, what's the guy's name? Bernie Sanders? That's what he thinks. He thinks, and I think a lot of people feel that way. Why? Well, there seems to be an inequity here. Some people making so much. But, for me, I got to admit, I'm pretty much, you just hope the wealthy do spread the wealth a little bit. I think most do. I think they, you'll get your guys that, there's some billionaire out there. I just read this story. I don't know who he is. He goes, well, I plan to die broke. I'm not going to have anything left. I'm going to give my money away. That's the kind of people I can rally around. You know what? And not giving the money like me and you tend to be. I'm talking about, give it to a registered charity. All I need is a crime today if I ever get out here. Give it to a registered charity, and everybody will be happier. So, but anyway, Brian Oak will join us. He's one half of Rock Talk. Well, one third. Tennebee's Rock Talk, too. Tennebee, we have Rock Rank, which we look forward to. That's always the second part of Rock Talk. Mark Rosen should join us about 2 o'clock. Other side of the break, it's 534. A tease, please.
Did we get a LeBron leak?
The Common Man.
I just don't really enjoy listening to him. The information that he's offering